Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about a few critical real estate updates that will help you answer the question, should you buy a house right now because everybody's doing it? Or should you buy a house right now because interest rates are low? Or should you buy a house right now because the prices are going up? Should you? Should you not? So you will learn a few critical points here that will help you make the most informed buying, selling, or relocating decision. Important, isn't it? And if you stick till the end, you will find out the answer to another burning question, which is, will foreclosures crash the US housing market? Will it? Will it not? Find out. And before that, I'm Anya Bartholomew, the local Utah real estate agent who also happened to be the #1 best-selling author of the book, The Future of Real Estate. And you might have seen my name on ABC, CBS, Fox News, Daily Herald, and a few other premium news outlets. Welcome aboard. Most importantly, I do post frequent real estate updates that will help you sharpen your real estate IQ, help you make the most empowering, informed decision, and finally help you buy the forever home that is really we all desire and deserve. Important, isn't it? And of course, if there's anything I can do for you in terms of real estate, shoot me an email, send me a text. I'm here 24/7. So of course, we want to make the most favorable buying decision. We want to factor in interest rate, right? So this week, interest rates are 2.86 for 30-year fixed, 2.1 for 15-year. Great. I mean, it's a record number. And 2.4 for 5-year ARM. And that's a reflection of a strong job growth and actually employment and income increases, according to the report. The number that we want to follow closely is actually mortgage application rate that has been decreasing for the 3 consecutive weeks, and that was a great signal for the slowing of the buyer's demand. However, since we did get the record interest rates last week, buyers' applications are actually increasing, 2% for the home purchases and 3% for refinance. So it's not that big of a difference, but at the same time, we're showing that the buyers are very responsive and very sensitive to interest rate, given the current affordability crisis. And I want to bring your attention to a very interesting survey. According to Fannie Mae, which is responsible for FHA and VA loans, they surveyed their buyers and they discovered that only 28% of buyers think it's a good time to buy. Only 28. The other 66% of buyers said it's not a good time to buy. And that's important to know, isn't it? And at the same time, 75% of those that they surveyed said that this is it's a great time to sell, and hopefully we will be seeing more inventory, and in fact that has been one of the trends recently. And that is not a surprise because according to the National Association of Realtors, the national actually average for monthly payment estimated rose to $1,457, which is $245 over what we had going on just a year ago. And that's in a situation where our mortgage rates are lower, right? And also the factor here is the income that is not increasing quite as dramatically. In fact, to be honest, we're all agreeing that it has been pretty flat. And the bottom line here is that affordability is going to become one of the major forces of the real estate housing market slowing down. And therefore, no wonder Realtor.com economists predict 4.4 home appreciation for upcoming year versus right now we're on average in 19, but year to year as of today, we're at 24% home appreciation gain year over year. And on that note, let's look at the Utah housing market statistics, specifically for 3 major counties: Salt Lake City County, Salt Lake County, Utah County with Provo-Orem, and also Washington County with St. George area. So let's look at the average sales price for Salt Lake City County. We started at $461, $494, 511, 522, 520, and finally 556. We're talking about 6 months, right? So we started at 461 and ended at 556. We're very, very close to, we're almost at 100,000 nominal dollar value of appreciation. However, if we look at compared to the previous year, we're definitely over over 100,000. For example, for June, the average price in June a year ago was 426, and we're at 556. That is very significant. Utah County, 446, 448, 463, 505, 506, and 524. So again, nominal dollar value increase from 446 to 524. It's very close to what, like $80,000. And again, if we're comparing to the previous year, guys, look at this number. 2020, the house in the average home in Utah County cost $389,000, and now we're over 100,000 appreciation year over year at 524. St. George, so 522, 486, bounce back, 538, 522 again, 534, 554. So interestingly, it looks like St. George jumped, had a really big jump in January compared to last year. Look at this number. It's not, of course, it's close to 150,000 year over year, because in January we started at 374 and added in 55. But so therefore, the appreciation of almost 40%, 39%, 30%, 41% is pretty significant. So if you're investing, that is an amazing return on investment. If you're buying a home for yourself, you just really invested in your best affordability ever, right? So if you're a home buyer, you also want to know of another interesting statistics. According to the Home Builders Association, they did a survey and they found out that 66% of buyers were not able to purchase a home for up to 3 months. Well, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that, you cannot buy it sooner, but you must be prepared to have a longer game looking for that specific house that you really desire and deserve. One of the main reasons for such a long time to buy a home, the whole process being so extended, is actually naturally the inventory shortage and a fierce competition between buyers that outbid each other. However, let's look at those numbers. 550,000 homes are for sale right now, according to National Association of Realtors. A year ago, guys, we had 1.5 million. That's a dramatic difference. Again, the national averages are 2.6 months supply of inventory. And in order to have a balanced market where both sellers and the buyers are equally advantaged, we need to have at least four, hopefully 6, but at least 4 months supply of the inventory. As we're talking about a month's supply of inventory shortage, let's look for at Salt Lake City County. 0.6 months compared to 1.6 a year ago. 0.7, 0.6, 0.8, 0.7, 0.9. So there is a little bit of the inventory trickling into the market, because as I previously noticed, 75% of sellers believe it's a great time to sell. Utah County, 0.6, 0.6, 0.7, 0.9, 0.9, and 1.1. And as I previously mentioned in some of our previous videos, actually Utah County is building more. So I'm not surprised that they're seeing a little bit more of an upward trend, especially compared to January 0.6 to June 0.1, 0.1. That's a great trend for the buyers. And finally, St. George, 0.7, 0.7, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, and 1. So I think it's really beginning to turn into a little bit of a trend. It's a very soft, it's a very incremental, marginal trend. However, it's a trend, and I believe, as working with buyers a lot, I believe the buyer will take it any time. Great news for the buyers. And now let's look at the biggest elephant in the room: loans in forbearances. According to the recent report, the number of loans in forbearances actually decreased to 3.26%, of the entire loans in the US market. And that is 1.6 million households or loans and forbearance agreements. Now, the breakdown of that is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae, which is conventional loans. Their share is, it decreased by 1.2, and however, Ginnie Mae, which is FHA and VA loans, that share decreased to 3.9. And what's important to realize is actually the fact that the number of loans in forbearance with FHA and VA loans is twice as big as the number of those in conventional loans. And here's the number from the government website that is actually can help us answer this question directly. Will we see more foreclosures? When we will see it, or will we see it at all? So FHA, USDA, and VA loans, the deadline for still applying for forbearances as of right now is September 30th, right? So they haven't even started. There are some loans that haven't even started. And in terms of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae loans, there is no such a deadline. So the answer to the question is we're not going to see any foreclosures released into the market anytime soon. Now, so far we've covered mortgage rates, mortgage application rates, we've covered affordability, average prices, days on the market, housing inventory, affordability, and we even covered the biggest elephant in the room, which is loan forbearances. Now, with this information in mind, because information is power, you are now empowered really to make the most profitable, informed decision regarding whether you, specifically with your situation, with your budget, with your circumstances, want to buy or you want to wait. Every decision is different, but information can help you make the decision that's right for you. Right? And on that note, if you have any questions about real estate or there's anything I can do for you in terms of buying, selling, relocating, shoot me an email, send me a text. I'm here for you 24/7.